Good early afternoon, my friends. This is The Fjord, joined here by Deathrite, open parentheses, Ben, close parentheses, the tournament organizer. We're coming to you today for our first semi-final match in the tournament battle for the Goyfs. So we got Ironworks Jund versus Dan's, maybe Lotus's, open parentheses, Dan, close parentheses, Temur mistakes. How are we doing here, Ben? What is
Doing
Ironworks up to?
excellent.
Because he's fired off a Blood Crypt, got
He's
an
he's just
Inquisition.
starting up with this the beautiful Jundings. Just gets hit by that
That
mental mist. He was
Dan
attempting to.
Dan's got the mental misstep. He's got a Force of Negation, an Uro, a Bolt, and some lands. He just drew a second Uro too. So
Oh my!
Dan is doing mistake-like things. How is
Right.
how's Ironworks' hand looking in comparison to a double Oko hand? Sorry,
It's
not double Oko. I mean double Uro hand.
it has some issues against a double arrow hand. A little bit land heavy. We've got two more. Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't
We've
know
got two
if
more
I could.
lands in hand.
I don't know if you
Trying to
could
slap
list
down
a
this Goyf
Jund
here.
hand that wouldn't have issues against double.
I know. Here you go.
God, that
Yeah,
Future
no.
Sight Tarmogoyf looks so sad against these Uros that are about to
It's
come down.
a little bit depressing. It is a little depressing for sure. Now we have a fatal push and a deathrite and two lambs over here, so hoping to draw some of bigger heaters. One that sees blood braids maybe, or Oko of course.
Yeah, no,
Let's see
definitely.
what Dan has to dish out this turn.
They drew a death right there, so their
Ooh,
lists
okay.
are very similar. I mean, it is Jund plus plus Simic mistakes versus
Plus,
just
right.
Temur mistakes. So they are running very similar lists.
For
One is
sure.
just more focused. Dan, of course, having 24 banned cards in his 60. Versus Ironworks, where I think it's like 4 or 5.
Yeah, thereabouts, I believe.
I think it's.
So we've
I want to say it's 6. I think it's only the 2 Okos and the 4 Deathrights in Ironworks versus
he has
Dan.
a Umazawa's Jit as
Oh, and
well,
the
I believe.
Umazawa, so 7. Sorry, so 7 banned cards versus 24. Seems
Right. Oh man.
seems fair and balanced as all things should be.
Sure. Well, for this turn, we had a little bit of a decision point for Ironworks here. He drew Liliana the Veil, so he opted to go with a two spell turn of
Well,
push plus
Dan has
shaman.
double force, so I don't think a Lily's going to
Ooh,
be resolving anytime soon.
oh for sure.
But this Goyf is put in. This is what we talked. Me and Grim talked about in the PowerPoint slide video thing. Um, Dude, Goyf can put the pressure on, man. This is exactly
Sure,
the type of start
pressure,
Ironworks needs to
absolutely.
be able to get out. And Dan has not found an Oka, which is what he needs really to stop this, because
Yeah, and
these
Oko would be really
Uros are
good
going
for
to
him.
take a couple turns to get online, and
Yep.
that Mr. Big Goyf, Mr. The Prize himself, is not allowing for that time.
The prize is shining right now. We have an interesting draw here of a Ren and six. So we have land, a stomping ground, Liliana the Veil, and Ren and six.
Yeah. So
Oh, like
I
you
mean,
were
if he
saying, I
swings
don't
in, let's
imagine it
see.
resolves.
So he goes with the Ren. If I'm Dan,
Interesting.
I don't know if I stop this. Looks like
That's
he
a
he's
interesting
casting it.
thought.
He's going for it. And what is he going to cast? He's exiling an Uro to cast Force of Negation.
Oh man. So if I'm on John's side and I see an Uro exiled for a force, I'm uncomfortable. Just
It
saying.
means Dan either has a second Uro or an Oko, and he has a second Uro.
Oh
But
man.
uh, but this Goyf, like, he's not giving Dan the time, and Dan needs to find another land to be able. He found a mental misstep.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
Dan
really needs
needs
another
land
land.
number 4 to escape this Uro next turn.
Right.
But then
This buys him
he
time.
found a cryptic command instead. So
Oh
Dan's
my.
got one more draw to find a land. If he hits a
Oh,
land here, I think he's firmly in it, especially considering he's holding on to 3 counter spells, 2 of which can be
he
cast for free.
he
So the
really needs
Uro
to
is
find
not
this
going to be
land.
going anywhere if
Well,
if it resolves.
if he doesn't find a land, it is going somewhere because we just drew a Deathrite Shaman. So if this
Oh,
Deathrite
that.
Shaman loses summoning sickness and that arrow's still in the
Well, he's going to
bin,
mental misstep the shaman probably. Yeah.
okay, I take that back.
Yeah. So now Dan's holding on to a force of negation and a
Wow,
cryptic command, and it looks like he's going to
he's gonna force
force
this.
the Liliana. Yeah.
I think I would if
I
that
think
were
that's
him.
100% the right
Yep,
play.
yep, I agree
Stop the Lily.
100%.
Ironworks is in a top decking situation. If Dan can he found a dig through time instead, which he's gonna have to exile the cards, making so he can't cast Uro if he
Yeah, this is
wants to
interesting.
cast
I'm
this. It
wondering.
looks like he's going for it.
Well, I think he has to, and I think he's digging for. I guess a bolt doesn't do it. So what would he be digging for? He could chump with a
I
death,
think
right?
I think he Oko I think is the one thing that it doesn't matter any state. I think Oko can just win the game. So
Except for he can't cast it, right?
I think he's looking for an Oko number one, and number two is probably just another land, like a fourth land, to be able to cast this Uro. But
Well, am I miscounting? Is this Goyf not lethal? It's not, is it?
he's a 4/5, right? Or is Goyf a 5/6?
Okay, okay. There's no walker in the bin. They all got forced. Oh wow, that's very,
Yeah.
very interesting.
And he also Dan just exiled a host of cards from his lot,
Right, which could
yard.
potentially shrink it. So
He's
I think
staring
we're
at
down.
he's staring at nothing that's gonna save him. He's got an
Oh
Archmage's
wow.
Charm, a Mana Leak, a Mental Misstep, and a Deathrite Shaman. This is one of the few times Dig Through Time has effectively whiffed. Like that is
Wow. I'm not sure if I've ever seen it with.
like he hit some good cards, right? Like they're like Archmage's Charm is a powerful card. Deathrite Shaman is incredible, but
Right.
not what you need when you're staring down a big fat Tarmogoyf and you're at low life.
Right.
So it looks like he's going to take the Charm, which is also awkward because his Islet is if he casts anything off the Islet, the Goyf will be
He's
lethal.
locked out. Yeah, exactly.
So
He's
he can
locked out.
take, and all of his lands here are painful lands. None of them are painless lands. All four
Really
of the lands,
nice.
sorry, all three of the lands that were revealed were painful lands.
Mm-hmm.
So none of them could have gotten down and been been used without him taking damage. So I think it's
Right.
that was a really awkward dig through time, for sure.
Interesting.
And he's just going to concede.
Okay, I was gonna say this Thoughtseize is actually an excellent draw. Oh wow.
Yeah. So he
Yeah,
didn't
no, this
concede.
Thoughtseize is
He
pretty cool.
hovered over it, but he didn't do it. So Goyf is going to swing in. So he took the Archmage's Charm, which I honestly don't think mattered at this point because he couldn't cast it with the Islet.
Yeah,
Found
I
a
almost think
Mystic.
I would have taken the Deathrite.
So he found a Mystic Sanctuary, Deathrite Shaman. He's going to play the Shaman. Shaman's going to buy him one more turn.
Exactly.
Dan's
And
got-
that's why I was thinking maybe he should have taken
Dan's
the.
got one more turn, and if he can draw an Uro next turn, he can't even cast it because of Fiery Islet. I don't think Dan has a way
Oh
out now.
man. Oh wow. That's quite the end to this game here. Well, look
Yeah,
at that.
dude, Tarmogoyf, man. Show him why.
I
Like
know.
this is why. Like
That's beautiful.
dude, Tarmogoyf is a beast. This is why I like Abzan over Dead Guy when I play my decks. Is like just Goyf is that good. Like
Okay.
he used to be that good of a card, and we're showing right now. And he can stand up to the 2020 threats. He can stand up to it, and if you pull the right stuff, and you get a little lucky. And funny enough, Dan just found the arrow, but he also found an Ice Fang. Ice Fang Coatl saves him.
They will not
It doesn't
have
trade
death
with
touch,
it. Doesn't trade with it, but he buys him a turn. Ice Fang buys him a turn.
Wow. Wow.
I'm
that's
I'm
amazing.
too used to Ice Fang just having Death Touch whenever it comes in. But
So this has to interesting here, but ponder. I like to point out how powerful that card is. Like if there
Yeah.
was one card that gave him the best shots since he already went through a dig through time was ponder, and look at that.
yeah,
Sorry.
no Ponder.
Very
It's one of those things where it's definitely a card worthy of being on the ban list. Legacy,
Sure. Oh yeah.
legacy
yeah,
power
it's
level.
way too powerful for modern.
Like I don't play blue decks, but from everyone I've talked to and everything I've heard, it's and from what I've even just seen, it's the most powerful cantrip that I know of. So let's see if he found a land, but it is a fetch land. He found a fetch land. Cannot cast it.
And you said
He had an Oko in hand, but he could have escaped.
Oko in
But
hand.
if he had found a
Okay.
painless land, he could have escaped the Uro in the yard, and it would have been a game.
Right.
But he didn't. He did not find the fetch land, and he just closed his MTGO, showing off a very cool artwork for his background. Got some knights going on back there. So for sideboarding, what does it look like Ironworks is doing right now?
So Ironworks so far has pulled out 2 Goyfs, even though that was the MVP of last game. He's bringing in Nihil Spellbombs as we speak. There is a Boil, which I might have missed him pulling that over. I didn't think that was main. Maybe it was.
No, Boyle wasn't.
I see
I think it was side.
It wasn't? Okay, yeah, I missed that. He pulled
Yeah,
that
so he
over.
put-
already. So,
So bringing in spell bombs and Boyle seems legit. I could understand
sure.
cutting Goyf. That was the strategy a lot of Jund players had against Uro Field of the Dead piles.
Yeah, it's
and
true.
this is
Especially
pretty
if like
much
they're on a gust plan. Like
yeah.
Goyf is
And
terrible.
so what's his face? Dan brought in the full set of Veil of
Gust.
Summers and an EE, and he dropped out Force of Negation, Arkham's Astrolabes, and his Ice Fang Quaddles.
Oh, the Ice
So
Fang surprises me a little. The
I
forces
I, I
makes me
don't know
very
about
excited.
Ice Fang because it's effectively just a 2 mana removal spell in this
Yeah,
matchup
I
if
do
you
like
can
the
get
Ice
your
Fangs.
Snowlands online. So
Right.
yeah, not the thing I'm not the definitely something I'm a little surprised by, but so is all Ironworks did just straight Now spell
Well,
bombs and now spell bombs and
yeah, and
boil
Boil.
for what? So he brought in all four
So
spell bombs.
he actually just boarded out. He'd switched, so he had taken all the Goyfs out, and he went back to two Goyfs in, and he trimmed a Bolt, a Lily. Uh, he just kind of did some hedge trimming.
He
The
just
Zip,
trimmed
which I
around the
believe was
edges. I can
made.
understand
Yeah,
Bolt.
exactly.
Bolt definitely does not look good here
Yeah,
because
yeah,
like
I agree
Oko's a
with.
6 loyalty planeswalker, right? Like
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Oko comes down, immediately accrues value, and then you have to use 2 bolts to deal with it. Like that's not something you want to do. If
no,
he has
no,
to do that, he's already losing. So
right?
I think Bolt looks pretty bad, and I like the idea of keeping some Goyfs in just because they are. I think Ironworks has to be the aggressor in this matchup, and no
Yeah,
matter how good or bad Goyf is in a matchup, you can't get more aggressive than a Tarmogoyf and Jund. So I think
that's true.
that's where that comes in. And so how is Ironworks' hand looking there? So he's keeping 7.
I Yeah, I think it looks excellent. It has Stomping Ground and a Verdant Catacombs, Thoughtseize, Ren and Six, Dark Confidant, Oko, and Bloodbraid Elf. This is a great Jund,
Oh, he's got the
blue
Oko.
Jund hand. Yeah,
Looks
this
like
this looks
Dan's hovering
promising.
over the mulligan button. He's thinking about it. He only has blue mana in this hand. He has 2 basic islands. Is the
Oh,
if he had
does he
a
have an Afterblade?
no, he has no
Oh, he
way to
got the.
cast anything other than blue. If he had
Ooh.
other colors, this would be an amazing hand. It's double Veil of Summer, Deathrite, Mental Misstep, Dig, and double Island.
Oh,
Double basic
interesting.
island.
I think I would ship it
He
because if
chipped
there
it.
was a Ponder in that hand, I would
If
keep
they,
that.
that's what I was saying. Like if there was some way to find another source, or if there was another
Oh,
source, like I would snap keep it. But he chipped it.
right.
He is staring at a Veil of Summer now, so there's a massive potential for the blowout. Um,
Oh,
so he has to bottom 2. He's got an Oko, Bolt, Veil of Summer, and 4 lands, and all the lands are multicolored. So he's
that's a good hand. That's
this
a
would be a
strong.
really good 7.
Oh yeah, that'd
So
be
I think
really
he
good.
bottomed a Tricycle land and he bottomed Lightning Bolt.
So he went to five. Okay.
Yeah, so he's got a
Bottom of the bolt keeps the veil.
so he's got Veil and Oko, or his 2 real cards. So this is going to be interesting. And then
So
see,
this being shocked in is definitely a warning sign to me if I'm on
yeah,
the Jun side.
he's
Yep.
blatantly displaying Veil of Summer. But if you have
Right.
Veil of Summer, are you not going to do that, right?
Oh
It's
yeah.
one of those things where like, are you
Honestly.
not going to shock in your breeding pool
Oh yeah. No.
to
I mean, it's
blatantly
like
display the Veil of Summer?
I do think it's the correct play. Ironworks opts to not
Dang,
excuse me, not walk right into that with the Thoughtseize.
Dan's mouse was on Veil of Summer.
Oh, I'm sure it
He was
was.
sitting there ready to jump. So he just drew a Deathrite Shaman. A little awkward because he cannot cast it and hold up Veil.
That is
So,
interesting.
uh,
So
so
Ironworks may be rewarded here for
yeah.
his
So it
play
looks like
pattern.
he's not casting it. Looks like Dan is being disciplined. He wants to
Interesting.
because if Ironworks Thought seizes this Oko, that very well may be it. Like because Deathrite Shaman isn't going to do it, right? Like it's just not going to cut it as your only threat.
No, absolutely, especially not against a Jun deck.
Yeah, like Dan definitely is counting on this Oko to make up some value.
Right.
He just drew a Ren in 6, so now this is an
This is
interesting
interesting.
spot. He can choose to
Right.
continue to hold up the Veil and cast a Ren, or he can cast Oko.
Let's see. If he were to play a fetch land, does he have a fetch land?
He does not. He only has a fire. He has a
Oh.
Fiery Islet as his last land.
Oof. Okay, I was gonna say if he had a fetch land, he could cast the Ren, buy it back, and then have green still. But that's so. I'm noticing pretty nice discipline on both sides here. So for one, Ironworks didn't run the Thought Season to the obvious veil, and Dan has been patiently holding up the green there until now,
And
and I think
he's
it's paid
going
off
with
in both cases.
he's choosing to go high upside. Like if
Sure,
Ironworks can't answer this Oko, Dan is
sure.
just going to win, right? So he's going for that instead of continuing to hold up Veil. Oh, what did he pull?
Oh man, another Oko. We've got two Okos over
Oof.
here.
Oof,
Dude.
this is going to be an Oko fight.
Yep. Yeah.
I really hope Ironworks just slams it and everyone can be really sad. We're about to put the sad back in sad sand, ladies and gentlemen.
Interesting.
Oh, he went with Thoughtseize.
Thoughtseize.
You
So I
failed me,
think
Ironworks.
this is interesting. So I believe what he's going to lean towards here is this Thoughtseize and Bob instead of Oko.
Instead of Oko, and then go Oko next turn.
Yeah, so
Instead
he
of go,
has
oh
a fatal
no,
push.
next turn.
Right, Broko. He has a fatal push, so yeah, I was gonna say I don't think he should take the Shaman.
Interesting.
So,
I would have taken Veil of Summer there.
yeah, that's where I was kind of leading into next. I'm a little surprised he left Veil because now his push doesn't necessarily answer the Shaman anymore.
You know something else
So,
that's funny is
yeah.
both Oko and Uro are like one letter away from saying "oh no."
Oh wow!
That's just some for all the viewers at home watching right now. That's the insightful content, the very thought-provoking content. I hope that you tune in for every every episode.
Right? That's great.
So let me get an answer on this too. This is something that came up in the Mana Handler and Bobby commentary, and
Okay.
this is a very serious question that I want to know your answer to.
Okay. Hit me.
Do you think Oko? How do you think Oko would look if he had the luscious locks of the Sun Giant?
Oh, here we go. Oh man, the Sun Titan stuff going on, right? Oh, that's awesome.
And as everyone knows, Sun Titan is in fact the best Titan ever printed. If you ignore,
I think it would just be
what,
an
four
upgrade
of
to
the other
Oko.
ones, if you ignore the full 5 set and then the 2, so if you ignore like 6 of the other 7 ever printed, he's the best.
Oh man.
But more importantly, Oko upticked on the food, and he attacked, and Ironworks didn't block, and Ironworks is danger low life total. This is something we have not talked about, but I just noticed it. Ironworks has hurt himself a lot.
A lot.
He's done
fetch
a
shocked
lot
very
of
aggressively. The
damage to
Thoughtseize,
himself.
the Dark Confidant, yeah. So he's
going Bloodbraid here. But yeah, he's into a Liliana. That's not bad. Not bad. But
bad at all.
But if he goes for this for the Edict, he can get blown out. So he can't Edict because Veil of Summer.
Yeah, and he knows it's there too. There's a consideration to edicting himself on Bob.
I wouldn't at this point because the highest card he has is 4, right? So he won't die. But I would next turn.
True.
I would if I took any more damage.
Sure. No, it's just a consideration is all. But
especially thinking about it, Dan has bolts. He's got bolts in his deck. So
that's true.
You got to sit there and think too. If your Ironworks, like, okay, even if I flip a Ren or like a Goyf and take 2 damage, that bolt could get you.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. And here, another interesting thing is he has 2 Ogos in hand and has elected not to cast them over what, like,
I think I wouldn't be surprised if he's trying to make a point that Jund can beat Oko. It doesn't need to stoop to his level to win. Luscious gold locks or not, we don't need Oko. We can win without him.
Back to that. If he had the luscious gold blocks, though, he would have played him right away. So. Oh man, I'd like to point out the honorary sub that Dan put in chat.
Oh yes, the sub, and then Ironworks not responding with it. No honor given to his teamer mistake opponent. So where is this attack going? Do we know? He's attacking Ironworks directly.
Yep.
Ironworks needs to. All right, this. I think I don't know if I would have attacked him if I was Dan, right? Giving Ironworks the chance to trade off that Bob when he's still at 5 life.
I think what that says is that he doesn't have a bolt. It kind of telegraphs that, but.
Well, he's about to cast a Deathrite Shaman, and he has Veil backup. So both of these Deathrite Shamans, they need to be.
Forget about the drain method.
These Deathrite Shamans need to be answered right now, or else they're gonna drain Ironworks out.
Exactly. Well, you know what? Ironworks can actually nuke the yard. There's only one sorcery right now, so he can get drained once, which I believe Ironworks can blow that out because he has to target it.
And looks like Dan is thinking of Veil of Summering in response because this is only, and he's just discarding. If I was Dan, I would have Veil of Summered in response. Give all my things hexproof and stuff. Yeah, he can push in response to it, but it protects you from anything else that could happen right later, just in case.
Yeah, that's
And
an
it doesn't hurt.
interesting
It's one of those
hot.
things where it also doesn't hurt you to do it, right?
Well, if he drew something really good that he didn't want in the yard, I
Well,
think.
Ironworks didn't cast anything, so he wouldn't have drawn.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree with what you said. Then that's a
Actually,
really good point.
I was just thinking about it. I don't think Dan can't actually drain Ironworks right now because he needs black mana to drain with Deathrite.
You are correct.
Dan does not
That
have any
Triome is
Astrolabes, and
okay,
Astrolabes
and yeah,
is
he doesn't have
only
this.
block. Astrolabes are the only block source he has in his deck.
Right. Well, that's right, but he doesn't have the other one active to
Yeah,
make the black
no,
mana.
like he
Wow.
doesn't have like another like a non-land based source, which are his
Okay.
only
Okay.
ways to produce mana. So he actually can't drain him this turn.
Right. This is an interesting position here.
And then
So Ironworks has a lot to consider. He's got a Tarmogoyf, another Spellbomb, two Okos, and a Fatal Push.
well, I think one of them needs to be push. I think he
I
needs to
agree.
push a Deathrite Shaman to just not die.
I like a line of pushing the Deathrite Shaman that's active right now, and then responding and blowing out its when it activates. I don't know if Hounds. Oh,
So he's
interesting.
going with the
Thanks,
spell
Spellbomb.
bomb. I was gonna say also
Okay.
I could see Oko and upticking on the other shaman to stop it
Yeah,
from
I do. I
being able
do
to
like
drain you.
Oko upticking on a Shaman.
But this Oko's like the Oko Dan has is it's funny to see just how like because you talk about that hand right, like he has so much, but it's like he's so far behind right now with what's on the
Yeah,
board. Like
it's
even if he
pretty wild.
upticks on shaman, you're still talking about two 3/3 creatures swinging in at you, right? And it's like does he
Yeah,
have
and
can he then deal with that type deal? So he's going with the target. So he's going with a blocker. I think he needs to push one of these shamans. Like
I
I
really
don't
do.
know
I'm
how
not sure
good
why. It's interesting.
it looks like he's going to gain life here. So Dan's going to gain some life.
Okay. Interesting. Wonder how he responds to this. This also says something for how broken Oko is. Like Dan has been stuck on three lands, and he's doing just fine in this game. And Ourworks has this just a field of good permanents.
Oh yeah, I mean Oko is the best planeswalker ever printed, right?
It's
Like
wild. It's wild. Yeah.
and speaking of lands, he just hit his fourth.
Ooh, that's good.
Probably the only reason I would run it out explicitly just for Uro purposes, right? Like there's nothing else I
Yes,
think that matters.
absolutely. Yeah, you don't want to because most likely he would up if he holds a card in hand. I could see Ironworks uptaking Lily.
Yeah, and then you end up losing it. Um,
Which I can actually still see him doing because he might try to build towards an ultimate. An ultimate could be really good here.
this is an interesting spot, kinda. I mean, so Dan, I think he just upticks Oko on his other food token, right? And then swings the crew. Like, swings them both
Yeah.
in, get
Yep.
Ironworks down, and then he goes to activate Deathrite with using the other Deathrite.
Okay,
So he's
so
upticking on the
the
Goyf.
Goyf. That's interesting.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, there are a couple different lines to consider here for sure. I do
Well, the
like
Goyf
the.
is now the elk that the Modern Masters artwork one is chasing. It's no longer Tarmogoyf.
Oh man, I would really like to see a fatal push here on Deathrite.
So he's cracking Spellbomb, getting rid of the
Okay.
instant in uh, Dan's yard. Is
Right.
Dan going to, in response? He is not going to, in response,
Interesting.
exile to drain Ironworks.
He would have had to activate both shamans to do that, and maybe he just doesn't want to.
It is interesting, but I don't know. I feel like, I guess, yeah, you only have the one food elk to block. So I guess I could see that, but still, it's...
I'm a little surprised by it, but
Because, like, right now, like, if he did that, Ironworks is at 2, then all of a sudden, if he's allowed to untap with his Deathrites, he just wins. If he pulls a bolt, he just wins, right?
right.
That's where
Yep.
that's kind of more where I'm looking at it from, is like, why
Sure.
didn't he do this thing like right then?
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
there was an instant there, and Ironworks had to land in his yard, so he had the resources to be able to do that.
Right. So he goes with the edict. Wow.
So he's edicting away. So
Interesting. So they go for
Dan,
elk probably.
actually, Elk trades with both of Ironworks creatures right now.
Okay.
So
That's true.
he's gonna draw off of this islet.
That's interesting also.
He
Is he
draws a
looking for a
flooded
veil?
strand.
Okay, so they bet he's cantripping for a veil there.
Yeah, I could definitely have seen that. That would have been a pretty bad blowout for
It would have. I think there was still a consideration. Liliana was one turn away from
from
ultimate
ulting.
there. So I
Uh,
think there was a consideration to that, but
I understand that, but
he's also his life is under some serious pressure also. So
yeah,
yeah,
I can
that's true.
also understand him saying, "I just need to
Right.
not die right now." So all
Well,
right, so
he
it looks
can.
like he's activating Deathrite now in response to
Interesting.
this.
Interesting. Yeah, this creates a kind of an interesting tension on the board. You've got a spell bomb ready to go. Uh, Ironworks has a push and a land in hand, so if he Renblooms, he can double push.
And this is almost where I was.
Oops, hold on.
Well, so Dan successfully did that, but
Kiddo file a complaint there. Sorry about that, folks.
oh, you're good. So there's a little bit of a child emergency, all handled
Yeah.
now. So Dan created a black mana and then sacked. So now he can
Oh,
activate this other Deathrite to drain,
right.
using the Thoughtseize in Ironworks Yard, and he casts an Oko. So Ironworks needs to start gaining some life here
Finally
off of these
see
food
the
tokens.
Oko. You think he elks the other Deathrite?
And
Oh no, he doesn't. He
I
pays for
would
food.
I like this. Just gain life off of the Oko, because if you can get
That's true.
some food tokens going, gaining some life, you're no longer in threat to Deathrite Shaman just tapping to kill you type deal.
Right.
I think that's the biggest threat Ironworks has, right?
Right.
So I think if Ironworks can clear that, I think he's in a really good spot, because his Oko is gonna eventually do the same stuff Dan's Oko is doing, right? And they're just gonna sit in a board
Right.
stall. And
Right.
Ironworks has the added benefit of a Ren and 6 and Liliana of the Veil.
Sure.
Two of the other, like, I know at one point Liliana was arguably the second most powerful Planeswalker ever printed, but like
Right.
they're both still top 10. Like Ren is probably second or third. Lily is easily top 10 still. So you're
Oh
talking about
yeah.
like a
I mean,
lot of power, a lot of
yeah.
value
Yeah.
sitting there
The
on Ironworks
board
side.
states are pretty impressive.
Yeah, and so he's going to Fatal Push it in response to this activation.
So he's gonna go to 1,
So he's at 1, but he can gain 3
but he needs a second
after he
mana.
untaps. So he has to survive. So he
Exactly.
has
So
to
Dan
survive.
has a bolt.
Yep. So he's got 1 draw. So Dan has to survive. So Dan has to not find a bolt here, and then
Exactly.
Ironworks will be able to go up to what he can gain 3 off of the food. I believe it's 3 on food tokens.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 3. So he can go back to 4. With the bolt, it would be an effective 1. If he can untap, he should be alright, because then he can make another
Yes,
food.
it's been so long since I've seen
6.
food tokens.
I know, right?
It's
Just
been
kind of
such a
pleasantly
better
so.
modern. But yeah, but but no, Oko.
Thankfully.
So Oko is going to be able. So the food token will get him up to 4. So next turn, you're looking at a theoretical 8 life gain. So you're looking at Ironworks going back up to 9 next turn if he taps the Deathrite Shaman and does 2 and makes a food token with Oko and cracks them both.
Right.
So, and Dan pulled a forest, which basic forest is not what you need. Sorry, basic
No,
snow
it
covered forest is
really
not what you
isn't.
need. This was I think this was Dan's last shot to win. Was right here, and he just didn't do it. So he's gonna swap for the blood. Nope, he's swapping for Tarmogoyf, which seems weird. If anything, I would have swapped for Deathrite Shaman, in all honesty, and tried to. No, he can't. He didn't have a block source again. Didn't have a way to drain.
I wonder if he should have just elked Ironworks Deathrite Shaman, because now Ironworks has another food to gain life with.
Yeah, but I think he was. I think Dan's kind of seen the writing on the wall at a certain point,
Sure.
where him drawing 2 lands there, I think, was pretty backbreaking.
It was brutal.
And
It was pretty
yeah, like
brutal.
I don't really know why he traded the way he did there, but I think he just wanted another 3/3 or something.
I think he was making a statement. The tournament is for Future Sight Tarmogoyf, so he takes the
So
Future
he
Sight
wanted the
Tarmogoyf.
future. Well, you know what?
With a thief.
We're gonna have to ask him that to confirm that,
Yeah.
because that is a really good. That's a really good insight there.
Look, look.
And he's responding. Yeah, that's what it is. They want the Future Sight Goyf. That is
See, right
my
now we
Future
have just
Sight
a battle
Goyf.
for dominance. That's what's going on. Oh, that's great. I love it.
So he's gonna ditch this basic snow-covered forest here.
Fireworks is going to ditch a spell bomb. Yeah, so we have a Black Leaf Cliffs and another Oko in hand.
Oh, this
We're
is
going
done.
for the
This is done.
Rendlum.
This is very done.
Yeah,
You
this
gotta
is.
yeah. This is
Is he going to cast a second Oko?
this was a no ban list Junding.
This
This is
was
what a
a.
full power Jund looks like. You just witnessed it here. It took Oko
Right.
and it took an Oko head on and it won because of its own Oko. The Ironworks saying oops.
Yeah, I think he thought the Tarmogoyf didn't have summoning sickness there.
Yeah.
Because he clicked into combat and then tried to click on the Tarmogoyf. Okay,
Oh yeah, he
second
probably
Oko. Interesting.
so going with the second Oko just to get some more loyalty on it. Because Oko comes down, he can go up to immediately 6 loyalty.
Right. Gets another food, gives himself some more life, insurance. Well, it looks like he's going to grab a food, which I think is correct.
So yeah, he's creating a food. I would immediately crack one of these just to play around Bolt, like any sort of a possibility for a top deck Bolt.
Yeah, I think that's correct. So he's going to drain on the upkeep. Okay. Or not drain, but gain some life. So he can still gain 3 on the fly here if needed.
And Dan drew another land, by the way. So
Okay, as I say, so right here,
this
I
is
guess the one thing to consider is that Ironworks needs to make sure not to tap first if it were a bolt.
yeah, but it's another Misty Forest, Misty Rain
Oh
Forest.
man.
So
Oh man.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm thinking
Dan
it's
is pretty much
probably
done. I cannot see a world in which Dan does not lose this game. Like yeah. So
the
while we get to
board
watch,
state.
while we get to watch the Okos slowly grind it out.
Right? Oh man.
Can I talk about the? I want to take a moment to mention the absolute travesty that it is that exactly 0 people made it to the top 8, registering Lingering Souls.
Lingering souls.
Because
Yeah, that's
it
a
was in the tournament. I want to say there was a Mardu deck in the tournament.
there was a Mardu deck in the tournament that had
Yeah,
it. And yeah, it is a bit of a tragedy that didn't make it
the
to the top
absolute
8.
travesty that is faithless looting Mardu Pyromancer not making it. Oh,
That would have been a really cool deck to see.
would have been great.
Okay. Ooh, I don't. Okay, actually, he knows. He knows that there's no bolt in hand, so I do like this. I think there was a consideration cycle
What
spellbomb.
is Dan doing? Dan has opened another window at like
Uh-oh.
regular MTGO, and then he just maximized this.
We drew another spellbomb
I think
over
Dan
here.
is just screwing around now with other things on his computer.
Uh,
But
Yeah, I think we just got to put pressure as
oh,
quick as
no,
possible here from
his
Ironworks side.
client's lagging. He's saying his
Uh-oh.
client's lagging.
Oh, no.
Client's freaking out. Client's lagging a lot, so he was apologizing for the slow play. So that's probably what he was
Uh-oh.
doing. Is he was checking his computer, seeing if it was the rest of that, or if it was just the empty Geo.
Sure. So I would, if I were Ironworks here, I really like cycling a spell bomb, especially since he drew another one. This helps you draw towards maybe another Blood Braid or like Tarmogoyf or just anything that applies pressure.
So for all of you, so for everyone watching, this is why Oko was banned. Not really. This is
Right?
partially why. This is also why it's impossible for Jun to beat Oko, because like that, like, dude, the Okos are just destroying it, and and I want to point out that Ironworks has ended with the Future Sight Goyf, which is what matters most.
So the large battle right there was won.
Yes, Ironworks has won the battle, but now the question is, can he win the war? And Dan drew an Uro. So let's see.
Whoa, dude, that's
So,
pretty big. So he has one, two,
no, but
three.
he's got Ironworks can just spellbomb it away. So it's just
Yep.
a gain 3
So
life
what this
draw
does,
card.
though, yeah, exactly. It just prolongs the game a little bit, because he will not be able to
Finds a Deathrite Shaman.
escape it. The Death Right's a pretty good draw. Well, not so much, I suppose.
That's funny.
Because we now have a Remblem. We have a push in the
Remblem is freaking out on Dan's screen. The text for the
Oh,
Remblem.
is he really?
Yeah, it's absolutely.
I've seen it where it's like almost
out.
like kind of spazzing there.
Yeah.
That's wild. So it looks like he's gonna
Dan
go
minimized
for
the
this Death
screen.
Right.
It's not freaking out anymore.
Yeah, I believe we're gonna Death Right here. So we can just flash back this push because we have a Black Cleave Cliffs in hand. So yeah, spell bombs now, which is great. Draws a card, which is also good. Looking for pressure. See what
You know what's funny about this?
Death Right Shaman. What's up?
This feels like it's a slow game, like for like commentating, right? Where it's like normally it's like, oh, there's nothing happening and stuff, and it's like, okay, this is it's like, okay, they're not doing anything, like this sucks, and then you can like make jokes about how maybe they've gone to go get a breakfast burrito or something.
Oh,
right,
right.
But it's like Oko is just like this is just such a slow like grind of a win because of Oko. It's literally just like you can't do that because they're still doing stuff, but it's just that slow anyway.
Right.
So
it's getting close.
So Dan can gain 3, go up to 9, and then still lose next turn. So Dan's got 1 draw left. Sorry, Dan go up to 8 and take 9. So Dan's got 1 draw. Let's see what he gets here.
Yep. Be interesting to see if it's
Ironworks just dumping out the hand, making sure it's set in stone. Dan finally finds the bolt.
Oh, man. It's many turns too late.
Yes, it is.
I don't even know what he would do with it here. He can't. It probably does not keep him alive, so he can gain 3 if he bolts a 3 attacker. He's at 8, takes 6, and with a Deathrite Drain, that's exactly lethal.
I mean, he.
Renping.
Yeah, no. I don't. There's no way Dan doesn't lose here. I don't think there's any way for Dan to gain enough life or deal enough damage to like deal with enough creatures to stay out of the next turn. I was just kind of curious
if he could like survive exactly 1 more turn or not, and I don't believe so.
So he's just gonna bolt the Deathrite. The honorable move there of not the not petty move. I want to point out, yeah, Dan did not bolt this Future Sight Goyf. He did not take the petty route out of just bolting the Future Sight and going, you wanted this so badly? Well, now you don't get it. So honor and respect to Mr. Maybe Lotus's open parentheses, Dan close parentheses. So
that was quite the grind.
Mr. Tournament Organizer, and there's Dan's masterpiece coming onto the screen, showing you what he and everyone else thinks of the deck. Mr. Danny DeVito's head, a pile of trash, and Oko. So, So
Great.
that was the match. We'll be looking forward to the finals between Jund on Ironworks on Jund. Jund making it to the finals.
John making it to the finals. That
And
just warmed my heart, I
he
have to
gets to
say.
go up against either the man who defeated me, Wizard of Lizard, or Bobby on
Bobby,
countertop.
right?
And that semifinal should be a very fast semifinal. Either Wizard combos turn 2 and wins,
Right.
or he doesn't. So, see you then. Here we go. Welcome back to the post-match interview talk show with your host, The Fjord. With me today, very special guest and first time, two-time appearance on the show, Mr. Ironworks himself with Jund. Junded them out, destroyed Temur mistakes. You know, sometimes the bad guys win, but it is not this day. Because the good guys won today. What do you have to say about your dominating matches with Goyf, man? Goyf won. That was just sweet. What do you got to
Yeah,
say about it?
thanks, man. Yeah, it feels good. I definitely feel like looking at the deck list before the match felt like the underdog. There's just a lot of fire design elements in there. Like you guys were talking about earlier, he's got like
24 banned
24 banned
cards.
cards. Yeah, that feels good. I feel like the tools I had lined up at the right time. He stumbled a little bit there in that second game, missed a couple land drops, and I think if he had a bit smoother of a draw, he could have maybe leveraged that Euro when it came, and who knows, it could have been a little different. So I think it was a combination of me getting the right tools at the right time and him stumbling a little bit.
Awesome. Well, so awesome. Well, you're going into the finals. First finalist confirmed. Jund in No Banlist Modern. You
Yeah,
love
man,
to
I'm
see it, man.
glad to see it, man.
How do you
I'm happy
feel
to be the
about?
one.
Oh, sorry, I was gonna say. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you
Oh,
off.
no, I cut you off. Sorry.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm happy to be playing John. I'm happy to see it, and I'm stoked to be the one piloting it.
so, last question. How do you feel about how do you feel about your chances for the finals? You got either Bank countertop with Bobby, and you got Dark Depths with Wizard. How do you feel about going into that matchup?
I think that my depths matchup is pretty unfavorable. I didn't really tool for it. My only way of messing with lands is Damping Sphere, pardon, and that obviously doesn't do anything there. I'm not playing any like Pillage or Fulminator Mage or anything like that. So that feels kind of bad. I'm a little worried about the post-sideboard games not having those tools. Bant countertop, I think I would rather face. I think I have my cards line up a little bit better there.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Ironworks. Congratulations and good luck in the finals.
Thanks, man.